704-929-0729. That's Lakeview Lighting and Irrigation, a division of Boggs Landscaping, LLC.
What do the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s have in common? Those are the years that real country was made. And we play them. Real Country, 550 and 92.9 WAME.
Welcome to Racing Roots with Hamm.
If you don't know our host, David Hamm, he's a 25-year NASCAR veteran, engine builder, and jackman.
Live every Monday evening, we have a new guest
From the racing world with their stories, their paths,
their racing roots.
Now here's our host, David Hamm.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Racing Roots with Hamm. And I want to say hello to my lovely wife, first of all. I try to put her first. Oh, let me turn you on. There you go.
Oh, how sweet.
It's been a while, I know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
First and foremost, yes. And then our young Bryson here.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good,
about
man.
yourself?
Good. Doing good.
All
right, and then a guest of our show, and Eric Yost, Bigun, also known as Bigun. Wait, that was a nickname we come up with you. I guess it's been about 25 years ago. Well, I didn't.
How is that you came up with that name? Tell me.
He can tell the story.
My brother actually gave it to me when I was growing up, and I was always bigger than they were, and it just kind of stuck.
Yeah. Traci said she was expecting to see someone that was
7 foot tall and 400 pounds.
Yeah. Well, he's stocky. He's kind of a big
one. I didn't say nothing like that, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, though, is he looks the same as he did 25 years ago to me. And, I mean, I've seen him over the years, and we actually went to a shop down in Mooresville, remember? You don't remember? He's the one that had a Camaro that looks like it's a big old rust bucket, but it's a sleeper, I guess you call it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't remember? Okay.
I don't know.
And he was talking about getting his own chassis dyno, which he probably has by now.
Yep, we got one on property, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is he the one that lives down the street from you that we walked to?
No. That was all right, here we go. The one that lives down
Barry.
there. Barry. That's right. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen him, but he has a nice looking shop down
with
there
the
too.
Great Pyrenees dogs.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're now at the Mooresville. Okay. Tell us your story.
Backstory. How did you get into racing?
Traci, tell what you normally do when
So
you scare the
tell us-
guests.
When I scare the guest?
Yeah.
I don't scare the guest. Tell us what got you into racing.
I mean, basically, I got my Camaro, the one I still have today. Dad got it for me and my brother when I was 11 years old.
What year is it?
68 Camaro.
All right.
So he went to the mountains of North Carolina, and it was supposed to be a 68 SS 327 4-speed 12-bolt. We got it home, had a 307 truck motor with a Saginaw and 10-bolt, and there's a hole big enough in the roof of the vinyl top. So that kind of started our fabrication career. At 13 years old, I cut the floor pans out with a stick welder. So, basically arc gouged them out, and Dad bought a MIG welder, and we attempted to weld some, panels in, and one of his buddies was in cup racing, body hanger, and helped us do the quarter panels, and they turned out fantastic, with NASCAR skills or whatnot. So that just kind of, put me in that frame. I was like, man, I could really go into that and learn some more. And during high school, I worked at a really good body shop. Got the car painted. It was like a candy apple red, black stripes. I wanted to drive it before I graduated, and drove it 2 weeks before I graduated.
Cool.
So we got married in it, and then it's had very different combinations along the way, but that's the one that's rust wrapped now. So we did a wrap on it just to get it back going. But I suppose that kind of lit it when I was young, and basically went into Sabco racing 98, 99 right out of high school. Mm-hmm. And from there, went downhill
History
from there.
Yeah.
So did your dad know him because your dad worked security at Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Pretty much, yep.
Okay.
Yep. He worked there forever, and he knew a bunch of them, a bunch of the guys. And but yeah, did Sabco for 5 years basically, DEI for 5 years, and then Mike Walter Racing for 5 years.
So when did you leave Sabco to go to DEI? What year would that have been?
Oh man, right when Right when they went to Dodges, because we were getting the Dodge stuff in to flip over to that new car.
Chip Ganassi.
Yep. He just came in with a Dodge Ganassi.
Okay.
So that was right at that time.
Because we traveled together in 2001, if I'm not mistaken, right, with Armando's Highline Racing, the Channel Lock.
Yes. Yep.
Number 11.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we had different drivers that year. We had Ron Hornaday, Marty Houston, David. I think we have David Steele.
Dave Steele. Yep.
Dave Steele.
Yep.
Okay. Marty Houston's been on the show.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he's still working out at ECR. Or no, he's working at Childress, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. So we did Nemechek and then Nemechek's Bush team, and then Sterling, Stedman, and God, what else did we do there at Sabco? I don't know if I ever did Wally Dallenbach stuff or not, but I always carry tires, fronts or rears, but mainly rear.
Yeah. We had a big variety of teams to work with back then. And then your brother also worked in.
Yep. He's still
Stay in the
at Stewart
man.
House now.
He's at Stewart House. Okay. Which team is he with now?
14 car?
Is he the Jackman?
No.
He's
no.
not. Okay.
That's when Rusty run his foot over and cut his foot off and had to get it sewed back on. And
Oh, no.
that was at Talladega. And then he came back when he was at RCR, jumped off pit wall the next time, broke his Achilles in the other leg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, jumping off the wall definitely put its toll on.
Yes.
Take its toll on you. I've had my right knee, I've had surgery on it, and then both of my shoulders. So,
Yep.
Yeah. And then Earnhardt ran over my foot, but it didn't hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, barely.
Yeah, Rusty run him over. Speedway run a metal side skirts, and he said he looked down and would read the Nike logo was facing straight up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow. That would have been scary.
Yeah.
I would have just passed out. They would have had I'd have had a head injury as well. And then they'd probably had to
Yeah,
resuscitate.
David faints when he has to give blood, so just so you know.
Yeah, I'm kind of a weakling or whatever
He
you want
is.
to call it.
He's a weakling.
Okay, Traci, so go ahead and do your spiel. You didn't do that yet.
What spill is that?
The way we do our show, how we do.
Oh, so yeah, before the show, I didn't tell you what we do.
Oh,
So I monitor YouTube. So everybody that comments on here or says hello or asks questions, I'm the one that monitors that. And then we take a break at 20 after and another break at 10 till.
yeah, something like that.
And I try to keep this one in line because, he gets so distracted.
Yeah. Not quite that structured, but it's fine. No, she'll be like, okay, she'll be looking at,
I'll look
looking
at
at
him
me
and I'll
like
go.
this right here. And yeah. And then it's like 20 after, and then next thing you know, it's 30 after, and then it's okay.
I'm going to start yanking the cords if he don't listen.
Yes, yanking the cords. Okay, so you got out of racing. Okay, wait a minute. Should we go to the very beginning and then just kind of roll with it
That's
that way?
kind of how I
'Cause-
thought we were starting it when he said he got his Camaro
Yes.
and blah, 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 blah,
Okay,
blah.
we'll go back then. Let's do that because we went right through your career just like it was nothing to it. But I mean, it was a pretty lengthy career in NASCAR. But you've had a lengthy career since you got out of NASCAR as well.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. So, and that's been a pretty cool adventure for
Yeah,
you.
yep.
And then now you're on to some more other adventures with the Mooresville Dragway
Yes.
and stuff. So
Yep.
you've been busy working out there with that. And I guess you can tell us a little bit about that if you'd like, and then we can jump back into your racing.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up going to the drag strip at Mooresville, and it's literally a half mile from my driveway right now. So, we're right there. I was there all the time. And, there was rumors going around of it getting sold to Coparts and, different entities looking into buying it or whatnot. And you just hear all the stuff and really didn't want anything to happen to it. If it ever got shut down or it would never come back. So Mooresville's the longest running drag strip in North Carolina. So it's been open for 65 years. There was a dirt fifth mile back in 1955. They started racing on it in 1958, legitly. And basically I went to the owner and just, went right to the source and figured out, what the situation was. And, we've got a really good partner, David Buchanan, and we got a consultant, Tim Broom, is helping me out on all that stuff. And man, it just all worked out, and we were able to get it, get everything under one umbrella, and really trying to make improvements to it. And it's been nothing but great so far.
Mm-hmm. Why does the name Tim Broom sound familiar?
He said he went to school with you.
Okay. Well, how about that? So Tim Broom.
Harding or middle school?
I'm trying to remember. Wilson, maybe.
What was his name? Tim Broom.
Broom, yeah.
I know. I don't know.
He knows some brooms. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. We'll look him up, but just to make sure, you know.
Well, let me say hey to the guests that are tuned in right now. We've got Sherman Stoney and Kevin Kirk, the infamous Dickie Dennis, and my brother, Daniel Thompson. All are tuned in.
Very good. So, yeah, I was talking about Dickie Dennis here before the show, the infamous fence climber. Yeah, how about that? And then Stoney Ballard, Stoney was the, let's see, if you see the old pictures of Davey Allison winning in 1987 at Talladega, and Stoney's the one with his arms up in the air like Superman. He's one doing this right here, Superman, yeah. So that was Davey Allison's first win.
Nice.
Yeah. So then all right, so we'll go back to the racing, and then we'll talk more about the drag strip and all that kind of stuff, because that's going to be some cool stuff going on. We'll have to go out there sometime. Bryson will have to go.
Yeah, that'd be a good little racing roots field trip for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So you started out, okay, so your dad worked security. Was that kind of your way into your connection into racing? Because, I mean, you always have to have a connection with somebody to interview with. Who was your first interview?
Yeah, I would say, Dad would do the security, and we'd go in and, right there at the garage, so all the cars would come by, and he'd get autographs or whatever for one, glove sign or this and that. But I would say, just getting into the drag race stuff, because I was, kind of drag racing all through high school, and then working in the cup team, but still, drag racing on the side. So I had my shop at home, kind of doing my Camaro, and we did the land speed stuff with the Firebird, whatnot. So, I just I like anything that goes fast. So that's pretty much what it is.
All right. So you started out, and then you worked at Sabco. How many years were you there?
About 5 years.
Okay. 5 years. And then you went over to Highline, or with Armando. Were you working in the shop or just on the pit crew stuff?
Heavy fab. So we heavy fab building chassis with Perry and Lynn Sherrill, and that was a 3 on heavy fab, and that was some good times back then. Everybody in the fab shop just got along, and all the finished fab guys, and it was good times back then.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there was Donnie.
Yep.
Yeah, he passed away several years ago, or many years back.
Donnie Fair.
Donnie Fair, yes. And Andy Stapp.
Yep.
Andy's been on the show. He's probably tuned in now, too.
Andy's helping me work the gate at the drag strip.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yep, I like Andy a lot. He's good help.
Good deal. Yeah, we'll have to definitely come out there and see Andy. And then you went from there to DEI,
yep.
Right? And what years were you with DEI? Dale Earnhardt Incorporated.
Man, I don't know. 5 years after Safco.
5 years after Safco.
He looks at me like I don't know what DEI means.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
No, I do know what DEI means.
Yes. All right. So were you there in 2000? You weren't there in 2001, right? So you were.
Dan says Danny Fair.
Yep.
Donnie Fair.
Donnie
Yes.
Fair.
That's right.
It says Donnie, but whatever.
No, I was not. No.
Okay.
Right there after that.
Yeah. All right. Because I interviewed down there too around 2001. I ended up not going there, but so after that, I was after Earnhardt passed away, of course. And so how were things over there? How'd you like that shop?
It was awesome. It was good. I was in the Napa shop, so not in the big shop. Down, the next road down, it was Hornaday's old truck shop or whatnot. So that was the 15 Napa car for Waltrip. And then when they did the swap with Stiffy coming over, crew chief, and they did that swap, and then Stiffy took me back to the 8 car at the big shop. So I worked on both of them.
Okay.
And then when Waltrip left, I was the first heavy fab guy at MWR.
At Mark Walter Racing, okay, out near the Speedway, out that way. Okay. Did you go to the racetrack still?
No. Last year, I did it for 7 years there. Just different Bush Truck Cups. I mean, it was, sometime all 3 on one weekend. So, it was fun back then.
Well, back to the Sabco days, we roomed together. I know several times, or many times throughout the years. We let's see, we were in Las Vegas for one.
Yep.
So we walked around Caesar's Palace, and where's the place that had the pirate ship? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That's Treasure Island.
Yep.
Treasure Island. Very good.
So you're the person I can get some dirt on David, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
David's going to turn red already. Look, he's like, I'm sweating it already.
Did Alcatraz, all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And
I saw it, but I never went to it.
We actually went on. You went on the island too, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. We went to saw Al Capone's cell in Alcatraz. or he. And then we also saw where the mask the guy had made, and he escaped through the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
He got out somehow, and there was a mask in the bed that he had made. It's still there. Very haunting.
That was cool. Yeah. I just saw something about that the other day, like on TikTok or something, and I didn't know like the story, but I'd watched how the dude had made the mask or whatever, and then he had escaped, and I was like, man, to escape Alcatraz is pretty big deal.
Yes.
You got to be pretty smart to get out of that place.
Yeah, you have to navigate through them choppy waters out there too after you get out.
Yeah.
So, and then we went to some of the old, not the Mayan ruins, that would have been somewhere else, but
That's in Mexico, honey.
I know, right? I know that. Okay, so I got a Mexico story too. I didn't go to Mexico, but you and gosh, what's his name? Keith went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed there because Chuck Norris's son was going to be driving in a Winston West car, and so I stayed to pit the car for $100. So, and then y'all went to Mexico, went to Tijuana, I guess it was.
Yep.
Oh, good thing you didn't go.
Yeah.
You'd be in trouble.
I bet you, but I bet y'all spent more than $100 down there. I don't know.
No, man.
What'd y'all do?
Like, walked around. It was a whole nother world. It was weird. We got up to get a beer. It's 2 Coronas. Well, they come with 4 Coronas, 2 apiece. They know what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
But, it was $2 or something for all 4.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure. Money went a long way
Yeah.
down there.
Spray painting cars in the streets. It's pretty wild.
Yes. So I guess I never did ask y'all what y'all did whenever y'all went to Mexico, because I was there working, and I was like, man, maybe I should have went, but it's kind of cool, Chuck Norris, but Chuck wasn't there, so I told Eric to tell his dad hey for me. I'm sure he'll remember me.
So my brother says favorite prank on poor Claude
Hopper.
at Sebco. Claude Hopper.
Oh, yes.
Why do I remember that?
Oh, Claude. He was.
Oh, Claude. Yeah.
Which one? I mean,
From the sounds of it, Dan, it was probably part of it.
oh yeah, we would prank Claude all the time, and he loved every bit of it. He had an old like 70s hippie van, and we threw like 3 5-minute smoke bombs in it one day, and it all went off, and all the smoke was coming out of the rust holes from all around it. And he thought it was the coolest thing ever, and opened the door, and it looked Cheech and Chong, freaking smoke coming
Cheech and
out.
Chong and Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Spicoli.
Yeah.
Jeff Spicoli.
Yep, for sure.
All right. What else, Tracy?
Well, that's all that it says, David.
Okay.
Come on, get your game on, big guy.
Hang on. All right. So yes, we traveled together, and all right. Where else did we go? We went to Phoenix. We went. Oh, it wasn't the Mayan ruins. It was the somewhere out there near Pikes Peak, kind of Colorado, maybe.
Yep.
Up there, it's 14,110 feet, and there was people that lived up there. The air was thinner. I mean, it was like you couldn't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's wild. It was pretty neat.
You lose your breath pretty easily.
I know my grandma and my mom went to visit my uncle that lived there, and they got nosebleeds going up so high.
It's a 20-degree difference, if I'm not mistaken. We rode with Big Country and Little Country.
So it was 20 degrees cooler.
That's what. Yeah.
There you go.
20 degrees cooler. Yeah. What did you think I said?
You didn't. You just said 20
Well,
degrees
you know what?
difference.
It's closer to the sun, so that should be hotter, right?
There you go.
I'm just kidding. I can't resist that.
I ain't your average dummy.
All right, so those were the good years of traveling.
Yes.
We went to do the casino thing and all that stuff, and then we also stayed in Vegas. I believe there was the World Series was going on right outside the hotel room window. You could see the ballpark, the game over there.
Yep.
The baseball game, the big game of the year. Anyway, that was good times back in the day.
Yep.
All right, so what made you decide to get out of racing, get out of NASCAR? I mean, you're not out of racing, but out of NASCAR itself.
I built the Pastrana bus for Nitro Circus.
Oh.
So Pastrana was driving for us at Waltrip, and he came to me, and I had my toolbox, had my golf cart and with a snowmobile motor and a turbo, riding a wheelie, and my deuce and a half in Lake Norman, water above the steering wheel.
Oh yeah.
So we hit it off pretty good, and he's like, "Man, I need you to build me work on my bus." I'm thinking like motorhome bus. And he's like, no, school bus.
This is Travis Pastrana.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I want to do my school bus and put 8 people in it and jump further than my rally car.
Wow.
So we got the deal. We was going to do it at the shop, and the foreman didn't want us to do it at the shop, so I did it at my shop at home. And we built it, pulled the Detroit diesel out, put a LS 5.3, run on E85 with a turbo, made 700 horsepower, cut 5,000 or 6,000 pounds out of it, left the leaf springs on it, because I told him we could do all this 4-link, this and that. He's like, no, I want to jump. We'll be jumping a monster truck then. I want to jump a school bus. So basically, I mean, we had leaf springs with log chains, letting it flex out, and like it was legit. You know, we put good shocks on it, but it jumps 168 feet with 7 people in it, lands perfect, and it was the opening scene of the Nitro Circus 3D movie.
Oh,
so you know, flew out to Salt Lake City. We did all the jump and everything, but when I got back, I got fired.
Oh.
Why'd you get fired? Like, just they just downsizing usually.
No, not so much, but
Statute of limitations is up, right?
Yeah.
So
that was yeah. I think the foreman didn't want anything to do with it at the shop, and
Gotcha. Too
was
many
mad
politics.
that
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in disguise. So I've started working full time out of my shop, and that's been 9 or 10 years now. So custom by Bigun, we do all kind of hot rod stuff, drag car stuff, mainly small tire drag radial. You know, on that side of it, a lot of turbo builds. We've set a bunch of records, land speed stuff. You know, we built that Firebird around Maxton when I was actually still at MWR, and we set the 241 mile an hour at Maxton. So we still hold the record at Maxton. It shut down for a 4-wheel vehicle. We've done some stuff at Bonneville, set records out there, and then a bunch of drag race stuff.
Oh man, that's good stuff. That's awesome. So you went to you've been out to the Salt Flats at Bonneville, obviously.
I have not.
You've not been there?
I have not.
Okay.
We were going to go
Yeah.
one year, and that's when it rained so bad, and they canceled it. And we was going to go another time. Wayne Jessel comes by, and he's invited me to go with him, and even offered to drive his truck. So that would be really cool. Because I've got 2 200 mile an hour hats now, one from Maxton, one from Ohio. So you get a hat, you go 200, you get another hat, you know, if you go 300 or whatnot. So, you know, another 200 mile an hour hat would be really cool.
Okay. Wayne Jessel's, he was by the shop a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Out there where I'm working too. You know, I retired from racing.
Right.
And then I ended up getting back in, right? So, yeah, it was kind of like, okay, it must be time for a break.
Just took a break.
Yeah, so I started doing my shop. I worked in my shop for a little while, and then I ended up going back. So it's good. It's all good, dude. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to Racing Roots with Hamm. We got Eric Yost with us. So y'all don't go anywhere.
The date for the 20th annual Yadkin Valley Wine Festival on Saturday, May 20th in beautiful Elkin, North Carolina. The event starts at 11 a.m. with tasting from more than 14 Yadkin Valley wineries and vineyards. Live music all day with 80s music from Kids in America and beach music from Too Much Sylvia. Advance tickets are $32 and $40 at the gate, and additional food and wine pairing events are also available. Come spend the day in Elkin, May 20th for the annual Yadkin Valley Wine Festival. For more information, go to yvwf.com.
Since 1972, Tilley Harley-Davidson has lived by the principle of honesty, integrity, and service to the community. For over 50 years, Tilley's have been proud to be Statesville's Harley-Davidson dealer and offer a great selection of new and pre-owned bikes. At Tilley's, every day is demo day. They also feature a first-class, state-of-the-art service department, parts department, and a huge showroom filled with riding gear and accessories. Stop by and see the friendly, knowledgeable folks at Tilley Harley-Davidson, 1226 Moreland Drive. Tilley's, over 50 years and still rolling.
Phew, finally! Spring is in full gear and it's time to get into the garden and get ready for another growing season. But before you do that, you gotta make sure to stop at Lowry's in Harmony. They've got everything you need for the perfect garden this year. They have the insecticides, the weed killer, the potting mixes, the garden fertilizer, starters, seeds, everything else that you need. Not exactly sure what you need? Well, then the helpful folks at Lowry's will help you out. Lowry's, 3204 Harmony Highway in beautiful Harmony.
All right, and we're back to Racing Roots with Hamm, and we got Eric Yost with us, a longtime NASCAR pit crew member and fabricator, and now owner of Customs by Bigun. And his latest venture is getting into the Mooresville Dragway. But what is your role at the Mooresville Dragway?
So owner, operator, track manager, right now. So we're my wife Dana's doing the concessions, so she's busy amping that up. We bought that concessions cart, and that worked out really good. Because being able to take the food to the racers helped out a lot. So we've got big plans. Concrete walls is going to be our top of the list. We just got a Zamboni last week, a track scrubber. So if something boils it down, we can go scrub it up. We're actually renaming it to Mooresville Motorsports Complex. Truck pulling, so like sled pull, dirt drags, 300 foot for ATV, four-wheeler, and trucks, go-kart track, possibly a mud bog. So we're wanting to really amp it up. And, we're right here in the middle of everything. So we're trying to really, venture out and pull everybody in, have a place to go.
When was your first track like that experience?
We took ownership on it, two Thursdays ago. We closed on Wednesday, and our first testing tune was a Thursday. So
as a spectator?
As a spectator, oh my gosh. I remember going to Pumpkin Center tractor pulls with my mom and dad would take us to that, and that was awesome. That was just, I got pictures, 4 or 5 years old standing in the tractor tire, and it was just that. I remember that vividly, but we've been to the drag strip, I don't know, probably about the same age, 6, 7, 8, who knows.
Mine was Shoveltown.
Oh yes.
Right on 16. That was my first experience of it, and I was like, okay, I think I like this. I think I like it.
So I got a question. So this whole thing with the dragway is pretty recent then, right? I didn't realize when we were talking about it how recent this is. So what sparks the idea, hey, let's go buy this drag strip?
Well, it was rumored that it was going to get sold, and that's what we did not want to happen. It's just, like I say, it's the longest running track in North Carolina, and it's got so much potential, and the location nobody else has it.
You look at a thing like Myrtle Beach Speedway, you don't want that situation to happen.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, Shoveltown, it shut down.
Yeah.
Same deal. It's just a cool 8th mile track. Back in the day, they held a lot of the radial records, for a drag radial. So we're trying to amp it back up, and we're going to do no prep stuff. We're scraping the track today. Tomorrow we're grinding a couple humps out, and then Wednesday we got a no prep test. Thursday is our regular testing tune. Friday is our 704 Outlaws. Saturday and Sunday is our first bracket points race.
Cool.
So we got a huge week this week. But we're just every little bit we can put into it right now. Just cleaning up, moving stuff around. Grinding the humps out of the track, getting the Zamboni. We're just trying to get it up to par and really improve on it immediately. So
cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat. It's cool to see somebody, and the fact that y'all are able to have a points race so soon, like within the next couple of weeks. That's pretty cool.
There was a schedule kind of already out, and we're kind of keeping that schedule, but then adding to it. So we got JJ's arm drop coming in September, so that'll be a huge deal there. It was so many people last time. So he'll come. JJ comes and does the arm drop stuff, no light, and we actually won the small tire class with beer money. So we got a no prep car, beer money we run. We did Horsepower Wars. It was a YouTube TV show that we got invited to do, build a car in 10 days for $10,000. And we built this little Mustang. We called it beer money. Went out, won a 861 at 161 and a quarter, and beat our competition, the other 3 teams. So they brought us back the next year, and we built the Moonshine Missile. It's a 82 Granada wagon, with a big block Chevrolet with nitrous on it. So that's been pretty cool. That experience with that stuff. We took beer money to Netflix for the fastest car, and Lyle drives it. Lyle Barnett drives it, and he did really good in that. Went to the finals back in California. So it was a lot of travel. I think in that 2 years we were in California for 2 months. From filming of both of those shows or whatnot. So it was good times.
Wow. That is good stuff. And I didn't realize you were doing, I've seen your stuff on Facebook, but I didn't realize you're doing so much. You stay busy. You really
You
do
got
stay
your hands
busy.
full.
Well, drag strip being my spare time. So.
Yeah, that's right. So I did load those pictures up, and so if you want to talk about these, I'll put them on the screen now. So there's if y'all are listening on the radio, you'd like to watch the show, you can see us here live in the Randy Marine studio at DHammiam on YouTube channel. And you can also check us out on Facebook, Racing Roots with Ham. The link is on there. So there's the black convertible.
Yep, little Lincoln we built, 64 Lincoln. That was a big project for us. Did a twin turbo LS3. It made 1,000 horsepower, 4L80. It's probably going to SEMA. We didn't get it done this year in time for SEMA, but it turned out really good. All air ride, Holly controls the electronic cutouts. It's got a ton of like push button Lexus start. Walk up with the key fob, and it's got the push button start and stuff. So that was a pretty big build on the hot rod side of stuff, and then the drag race stuff we do also.
Okay, there's another view of it, and then what is this?
That is probably a drag radial car we built. Andrew Tvornik owns it now. We just set the record for small block LS, single turbo, and LDR. Went 399s in 8th mile with that thing. So that's just scratching the surface with it. So,
What is the silver car?
a Mustang.
The Mustang. That's
Yep.
what I thought.
Okay.
And that's my Camaro. We just won Sick Week with it.
Sick week?
Yep.
Okay.
You see his shirt? Sick Week, Florida,
Yeah.
2023.
How about
So that thing's been in hibernation for about 5 or 6 years. I won Drag Week with it 2012, 2014, then Rocky Mountain Race Week 2015. And we just got back out. I started updating the cage in November, waiting on parts, didn't know if it was going to make Sick Week. I got my intake, the valves, and like valve springs 3 days before we left.
That's crazy.
We put it together. We was on the dyno Thursday at 1:30 in the morning, and it's a whole new setup. We're running an E-gate on it and everything, electronic wastegate. So we're trying to figure that on the dyno. We drove straight to Bradenton for our test the next day, ripped the transmission out, went to TBM home shop down there. They had a lift, pulled the transmission, rebuilt the transmission, started in Orlando on Sunday. We put a good time down and just stayed in the lead the whole way. So we won our class. We had a 740 average at I think we went 740s at 189 was the fastest we've been. But the goal is to go 6s at 200 with it.
Okay. Man, that's flying.
So we got to drive 1,000 miles pulling a trailer.
Okay.
So we got a little trailer to pull behind it. So you got to drive the car from track to track. So we went Orlando, Bradenton, SGMP, Gainesville, back to Orlando.
Okay. All right, so this is a Mooresville Dragway here.
Yep.
The office, is that the office there?
The tower, yep.
Tower, okay. It's right at the line. And there's where you've been scraping today.
Yeah, that's when we had it prepped pretty good there, so it doesn't look like that today.
Okay.
It's asphalt.
The first 220 foot is concrete and then asphalt from there
Okay.
back. So we're wanting to do concrete walls and then concrete the entire 8th mile. So we'll do a laser screed from the water box to about 700 foot.
Okay. All right. And there's the spectator fence.
Yep.
All right. And let's see here. Oh, that's back to that car again. I guess that's the engine for that car.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that
You
earlier.
said the spectator fence. Is there bleachers and?
We got
sitting?
a ton of bleachers right now. We just replaced our first 2 sets of aluminum bleachers in, and we're trying to get a lot of those amped up to at least aluminum, tread or aluminum all the way up, for the bleachers and all.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, the first funny car David took me to was 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Yeah, we did a 4 wide at ZMAX.
Oh yeah, yep.
That was definitely an experience.
Yeah.
We started out at the end of the track, and I said, "Let's go to the start." Yeah, that was definitely something.
Four of them's a different experience for sure.
That was definitely something to experience.
Yeah.
Bryson, have you ever been to
I have not. I've been to Farmington
that.
and watched some of the Harley drags, but that's really the only drag racing that I've ever seen. So it's something that I need to get down there
Absolutely.
and come check it out.
Sure.
Because it's drag. I've always grown up around circle track racing, asphalt. And so I've never really, I've always kind of watched drag racing here and there, but I've never really followed it, don't understand a lot about it. So I think it would be cool to get to come down there and learn some about it, because it's something new to me in a way,
Well, on a Thursday night, you'll see anything. It's our open test and tune on Thursday. So you'll have the majority of them be street cars. You'll see Honda Accord and a WRX, and then you'll see 15 different motorcycles, or a mini bike or a four-wheeler, and then we'll have like back-to-back pulling. Like 2 trucks will come up. They have their own pad down there and pull back-to-back.
That's pretty neat.
So it's like a tug of war of a truck. So we've got a couple truck events coming up, and they'll do the back-to-back pulling right there in the water box, and then we're going to have the dirt drags during the day, pulling, and then the drag racing.
You need to get you some lawnmower racing out there.
We talked about it.
David can do one of those
Yes.
easily.
Yeah.
I can drive a lawnmower.
I've got some old lawn tractors.
As long as
in
they're
there.
not zero
That would
turn.
be cool.
They will fly.
As long as they're not zero turn, I can drive it.
Oh my gosh, my zero
Put
turn
me
will
on
go.
my John Deere.
Yeah, my zero turn will go 11 mile an hour.
Oh,
It'll
yes.
pop a wheelie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got a serious question. This is about a deuce and a half. Do you know where I can get one?
David Don't tell him.
Absolutely.
I
He has
I've been
too
wanting-
much stuff.
I have been wanting one of those for many years.
Tell you what, you trade in
You
the
ha- you
PT
just-
Cruiser, you trade
Yeah,
in
okay.
the Suburban, you trade in this and that and the other.
I'm working on it. I'm on it.
We'll talk about it.
Anyway, yeah. You know where I can get one?
Maybe.
Everybody
Okay.
knows where you can get one. You just don't need it.
Come on. Now, I said this is a serious question now.
It is serious.
All right, well, I'll get with you. Don't let me forget. So you're talking about having a mud bog, and so you've got one of those deuce and a halves, and I'm
yes.
extremely jealous and envious, or whatever you want to call it.
He's a little green.
You've seen it. You've taken that on. I've seen it. You've taken it out on Lake Norman, like you were talking about,
Yep.
and I saw it. Basically underwater.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, how cool is that? And you take it out to the coast. I guess you drive it out there.
Yeah, so it runs on used motor oil. So the white or the white motor is a split-headed inline 6 multi-fuel is what they call it. So back in '68 or whatnot, they had this technology that will run on JP8, kerosene, diesel, gas, whatever, and you pour it in and it runs it. So it had a little compensator on the oil pan, and if it read the fuel was too thin, it would pull your crankcase oil out to add with it to get you out of the jungle or whatever.
Oh.
So on these ones have been decommissioned, they take that off because they have been hung up and suck all your engine oil out.
Sure.
But you just put straight motor oil in it. It's got to be used motor oil, just as dirtier the better, pretty much. Like clean but dirty. It's got
Fuel
the fuel
and
and stuff in it. So, like if I'm running in the wintertime, I'll just add some gasoline or diesel to it, and just to thin it out a little bit. But I can make it down to Carolina Beach. We can camp all week, and then I got 50-gallon tank in the back, pour it in, and make it all the way back, so it costs me nothing in fuel.
Man, I love that.
That's pretty
the
awesome,
coolest-
So I have a question. So if you're underwater in it, how do you breathe? Like, do you have a mask or something? I mean, I think all the things like that. Sorry.
Well,
If you're driving and you're underwater, you got to
So-
have some type of something to breathe. For
I
the
wasn't
driver.
quite that deep. I have it's got a snorkel on it. So we built a snorkel that comes up with the exhaust, and it's about a foot above the steering wheel. So like all the gauges have holes in them to let drain the water out. The fuel tank, all your diff, your transmission, all vent to the airbox.
Okay.
So it all vents through the snorkel, and they thought it out really good back then.
Yes. Yeah. And that's really cool too. It's like you were saying, if it were to run out of fuel, it could feed well. If it was in Vietnam, let's say, where things over there running around, runs out of fuel, it starts feeding off its own engine crankcase oil to power it. Yeah, that's definitely something I could see myself getting into.
That is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not quite as underwater as I thought it was going to be, but
Well,
I get it now.
It's not a submarine.
Well, I mean,
come
you
on.
confused me.
That's in the middle of the lake.
Oh man,
Yeah.
no, that's pretty deep there.
Hey, Dan, have you seen him down on Lake Norman? Running around.
Did you get pulled over by the sheriff's office down there?
If they probably seen us, they probably wouldn't have liked it too much. But
That is so cool. So you can have a mud boggin at the drag strip with a deuce and a half or whatever.
Oh yes. Would
they be considered illegal? I mean, as far as because you're not gonna get that thing stuck. I'm assuming
it's heavy. It is heavy.
Yeah.
Like when we did that, we came out, went down the boat ramp, and then turned and came back out. It dug 2-foot trenches straight down to the bottom. So like the muck and the sediment, like those trenches were there for 4 or 5 years later. We'd walk out to go to a boat and fall in one, and you'd get soaked. You think you're knee deep and you go up to your waist, because of those 2 trenches. But it was neat. Like you could turn the wheel straight and it's going that way. It wouldn't come back out of it.
Sure.
So it was a learning experience for sure.
That's awesome.
That's
Kim
crazy.
Henry texted. I was going to try to get Brian to call, but he I guess they're out and about right now. She said, tell them congratulations on the drag strip. That they will be visiting. All right. And Brian says thanks for the memories, Bigun. Have lots of memories. Probably better left unsaid. Yeah.
Which is usually the case.
Yeah. Don't we all? So my wife reminded me not to make this about me. So I'm just going to be quiet the rest of the show.
I texted him that don't make this show about you.
Yeah, but we got a lot of memories together, So if I talk about me, it's because of him.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Kinda, not really.
Papa Henry and Ham Bone.
Yeah. Well then, Traci, you go ahead, take over.
I don't have any history and stuff to share with him. Mm-hmm. Give me a good Dan story. There you go.
Oh man,
Dan, you're on the spot now, big guy.
Well, some of them might be better unsaid too.
Exactly. You can tell a clean version of one.
Oh man.
Well, that's fine. What is the craziest thing that you've done? Let's say. Besides riding around Lake Norman in a deuce and a half. I don't even know if that's legal, so we probably shouldn't talk about it too much.
It might.
Sheriff's office listens in. But they're friends though.
Well, maybe they can borrow it for underwater investigations.
That could be, yeah. They actually have their Bearcat. They have a new thing. It's an armored vehicle. I forgot what the weight is on it, but it's like $275,000 they paid for it with drug money. So it's paid for out of the
seizes.
The seizes, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And but it's I guess it'd be a similar thing. I don't know if it's amphibious or whatever, but anyway. That'll be next, so you need to get you one of those amphibious vehicles.
I've ridden in a deuce and a half, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
In the back, yeah.
In the back.
In the back.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all you need to do. Jump in there, and then you can go riding around Lake Norman in the back of it.
We went to a nightclub.
Oh, what? Mm-hmm. Wait a minute now. I've never heard this story before. Mm-hmm. I went to a nightclub in a deuce and a half in the back. Mm-hmm. Okay.
In downtown Charlotte.
Yeah. Are you sure that wasn't the night we went out in
that was not me and you.
The party van.
That was not
bus.
me and you.
They have
this
buses.
was prior to David Hamm. I have a life prior to you.
There's a song called Pre-You.
That's it.
Okay.
Not Prius, but Pre-You.
Well, I know, right? Yeah, speaking of Prius, Kyle Petty loves his Prius, right?
He does. Mm-hmm. He was driving it when we went to the thingy.
Yeah, we went to dinner. That was in Salisbury. Oh, yeah, but whenever he was leaving, he goes scooting by in his Prius, and he's like, happy as could be. I love my Prius. Yes.
I bet you he's got a minivan now.
Oh, yeah. I know all of his kids. So you know that about Kyle. He's gotten remarried and
3 kids now.
To Morgan, and yeah, he's got 3 young kids.
Nice.
So, yeah. He's come a long way. Since we knew him back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He started over and is rolling again. So, all right. So we're going to take another quick break, and we will be right back to Racing Roots with Hamm. I got to play some more commercials, pay some bills, as they say. So y'all don't go anywhere. We got Eric Yost in with us, who is the proprietor, I guess you could say, over the Mooresville Dragway now, and a new owner as well, and a former NASCAR pit crew member, and we worked together many years ago. So we'll be right back.
Calling all country music fans, we're on the road again and going to Nashville, Tennessee for another Classic Country fan trip, and you're invited. Hi, I'm Joe Don Baker, host of Classic Country Saturday Night. Join me for the ultimate Music City experience as we tour the Country Music Hall of Fame, enjoy premium seats at the Grand Ole Opry, the RCA Recording Studios, the General Jackson Showboat Show, and exclusive private parties with meet and greets from some of country music's biggest names. Opry stars and Country Music Hall of Fame members Bill Anderson and William Lee Golden, T.G. Shepherd and Kelly Lang, Michelle Wright, and more to be announced. It's a one-of-a-kind trip for the ultimate classic country experience. Reserve your seat today. Space is limited. Trip includes first-class motor coach round trip from Statesville, hotels, meals, and exclusive shows and private parties. For details, complete schedule of events, and to reserve your seat, visit ClassicCountrySaturdayNight.com. Don't miss it.
It's time for another Kubota Field event, the biggest sales event of the year. Don't miss the perfect opportunity to demo tractors from 16 up to 71 horses, plus zero-turn mowers, utility vehicles, and more. Ask about competitive financing offers and get a coupon for up to $250 just for showing up, and enter for a chance to win an Orca cooler. Don't miss the Kubota Field event, Friday, April 21st at Statesville Ag and Turf, 2457 Simonton Road here in Statesville.
550 and 92.9 WAME.
And we are back to Racing Roots with Hamm, and we've got Eric Yost in with us in the Randy Marion studio. If you are listening on the radio and you would like to see us here, you can go to DHammiam on YouTube, and if you'd look for the link on Facebook on Racing Roots with Hamm Facebook page, give us a like over there, and you can always stay tuned to every Monday evening at 7 o'clock when we have a new guest with their story, their path, their story, their racing roots. All right, and we're back to Eric.
If you have questions, put a big Q on the YouTubes.
Speaking of Randy Marion, I think they're going to sponsor one of the scoreboards and like a winter circle deal and all.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's big.
Yeah.
So we got a couple races they're going to bring out, like a new dually or a new Corvette or whatever, and put in winter circle. So they're excited about that too, so they can show off their product, and racers obviously going to buy stuff to pull their race their trailers and stuff with. So
Isn't
a big partnership.
Yep.
yeah.
Dickie says the fence is the best. Bring all lawn chair.
Oh. Give Dickie something to climb on.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's cool that, all right, so I was going to ask you too about, you said there was a dirt track there in 1955 or so?
Yep.
Right.
A 5th mile dirt is what it started out as.
5th mile dirt. I wonder if our friend Bill Blair was there. His first track he went to was in 1940.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he's been around a long time. His dad won Daytona in 1953.
Nice.
Yep. So chances are, if there's a track around this area, High Point Speedway was the first one he went to. So,
okay.
Chances are he's been to it, and he could probably tell you all about it.
Right.
So that would be neat to have him come down, assuming he's been to it, and come down and walk around and do a little video or something. It'd be kind of neat. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got KB Racing beside us right there in the park. Greg Anderson, Jason Line. Okay. Now Dallas is driving it. So they come over and test. Pat Musey's right down the road. So we got, just a plethora of different no prep, pro mod, pro stock, nostalgia, whatever. It's just so much stuff. So, the guardrails, we're going to get rid of them and do the concrete walls, and we'll have a lot of the bike guys want to test. So, that's on our number one list, probably over the wintertime.
Okay.
To get that done.
Matt Bieneman?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I worked with him years ago.
Yep. Bieneman and Jim Oddie. I drove Oddie's car. He's got a gasser. I drove it a couple times, and went to supper with a couple of, Wayne Jessel and Bieneman, and Bieneman's dad, goes with him. So, that's always good times with those guys. Those are like legends, if you can just talk to them and just listen. Don't even say anything. Just listen to them. But
oh yeah. So how does it feel to go fast?
Oh, it's it's one of them deals. Once you do it, want to go faster and faster, and I like anything that goes fast, pretty much.
I know Traci does too. What? You hear something?
Sounds like somebody's opening the door.
Oh, this place is haunted. You know how it is.
No, really.
Okay. Well, there's not though, is there? Oh, is there?
Yes.
Okay.
It's here.
Who's back there? Somebody?
It's I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. Anyway, not going to tell me. Okay, it's fine. All right, so.
There's who's here.
Oh, hey there, Ron. Yeah, okay. All right, so you're, what are you, let's say, most excited about with this drag strip thing? I mean, it's kind of like your whole dreams come together.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, it's taking you. Okay, so you moved out there. You got, I guess it was 5 acres you started with your grandfather's land or your wife's grandfather's land. And then you built your garage mahal, kind of like, you know, you built your shop and then your house was on top of it.
Yep.
Do you still live in that? Or did you...
No. So we lived up there 20 years and we just built the house. We've been in it for 3 years now. So we're still working on it. But
okay.
And I did a bunch on it. So that took a lot of time, you know, just to basically CO'd it myself and, you know, did a lot of the fabricating. It's got a lot of metal in it. So.
Oh, I can imagine. So.
A lot of concrete, a lot of metal. You know, so it's that's going good now. So we got that all taken care of, and you know, now it's another venture with the drag strip. So
you don't have to haul your 3 young kids up the stairs to get up to the place.
Exactly.
'Cause I remember the stairway up there.
Oh yes.
You still got some pictures of me up there?
Oh yeah.
So I did that on purpose just for you.
Yeah, he saves them to his phone because
there's some pictures.
Dickie
up
Dennis
there.
says,
I'm gonna get copies of.
Is it NHRA Division 2?
It is NHRA, yes.
Okay, Division 2. They're
There you
laughing
go.
at me. He's laughing at me.
National Hot
underwater.
Rod Association.
No,
Division
Dickie's
2.
laughing because I said, "Is it underwater? How do you breathe?"
Oh, that was pretty funny. I was just trying to get past that, but it's all good. All right, so you then all right, so let's go back to your house. Whenever you built this thing, and then all right, so it was your shop. It was like a two or three stall shop, right?
Yeah, three bay deal. Yep.
And then you had a house on the top.
Yep.
And then the last time we went over there, you had a back room you had built on.
Yep.
And then you had like an engine assembly room. You were talking about putting in a dyno.
Yep.
I don't know why I had trouble remembering that. But it was just, yeah, you're talking about putting in a dyno there. So where's your dyno at now?
So Pete Harrell is beside me. Harrell Engine Dyno. Me and Pete's known each other forever. So his shop is right beside me. And we put the dyno, built the dyno pad and everything. So it's all a part of Pete's shop. But he does all of our tuning anyway on all the fuel injection stuff. So it works out good. You know, we can, be building the car, go get the motor from Pete, put it in the car, build the headers, whatever, take it to the dyno it, and then take it to the racetrack and race it. So,
that's very cool. And that's a chassis dyno, right?
yes. Yep.
So to our listeners that don't know what a chassis dyno is.
I was going to say, is there different kinds of dynos?
Oh,
There
yes.
is.
I know there's arrows, so you can do it over the
That's a wind tunnel.
wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said it'd
It's
be
still like a
similar.
dyno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about that.
This is a 248 4-foot drum dyno. It's upgraded to like 2,500 horsepower capable. At that kind of power, you're basically going to be spinning the tire at some point. So, just trying to hook the tire up. But they've got hub dynos now that actually bolt on to your rear end. They can be more strenuous on parts break because there's no give on it. We don't go crazy on the dyno. We basically check for leaks, get a small baseline, then do the rest of the tuning at the track. Because it's the dyno's not. We don't use it for a max power, trying to figure everything out. But I mean, like my car, I think we stopped at 1,700 to the tire, and then we take it to the track. So that's over 2,000 at the crank.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Donkulous.
Traci, you want to drive that?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. She likes fast stuff.
That'll work.
Fast cars. She's got a little Earnhardt in her.
My
you
first
know.
car was a 76 Camaro.
76 Camaro. How fast did you go?
Oh, as fast as it would go. Yeah, as fast as it would go. It needed a little bit of work, but yeah.
Yeah. I took her for a ride in a 69 Cobra Jet.
Was it
Mach
69
1.
or 68?
69.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's got the it's been built. It's a pretty tough car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like I could spin in it every gear.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
On curvy roads, nonetheless.
No, I was safe. But it
You
was
were
fun.
safe.
That was a lot of fun.
You were safe.
What's the fastest you've been, Bigun?
241 in the Firebird for the standing mile at Maxton. We went 233, 235 at Ohio. I've been 2:15 in my Camaro at a half-mile event. So I would say, yeah, and then motorcycle stuff's probably 170, 180, somewhere in that range, but mostly stay on cars.
Yeah, I would think the 4 wheels would be a little bit safer than a 2-wheel.
My jet boat runs about 91, 92.
That's pretty quick on the water.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Yes.
Oh my God! You got a place on the lake now?
No, we sure don't. The place we had on Lake Norman got sold. A bunch of big houses moved in and got our lease moved out. So, yeah.
Okay.
My brother still got a place at High Rock, so we go out there a good bit, and plenty of people that do on Lake Norman. So.
Is that where you keep the speedboat?
No, it stays in the basement.
Oh.
You got to have some smooth water. Lake Norman doesn't have much smooth water unless you're real early or real late.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah, David, we went on Lake Tillery,
Yeah.
and David was getting his gut shook up.
Oh my gosh, yes. So they take me out on this boat, and we're doing the raft, the big round raft, and we're laying there, and she's just laughing and carrying on, and I'm like holding on for dear life, and it's hurting because I'm just like, there's the whole time, and I was like, man, this hurts, And she's like, well, you just got to let it go. And she starts
I was
flailing
flopping all
around.
around. It was so funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. You're silly.
Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, I understand the water being rough, bounce, kind of hurts.
Hurts your guts.
Hurts your guts.
Hurts everywhere.
It didn't hurt my guts. I didn't get no bruises, fortunately.
Yes. So, Bryson, you're going to go out there and have you ever thought about drag racing?
Well, yeah. I mean, I said I went to Farmington one time, and I've sort of always watched it. A lot of times they'll come on FS1 or something and just casually watch it, but I've never, I haven't been around it enough to know a lot about it. So, whereas regular circle track racing like we do at Hickory every week, I'm pretty familiar with pretty much everything that goes on. Now, I feel like some of the business stuff may be the same, like as far as sponsorships and the way the track is ran. So I guess I may know a little bit about that, but as far as the actual racing and how that process works, I'm not as familiar. So I'm going to have to make a trip down there for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go back to some circle track questions now. What was your favorite track that you used to go
Bristol.
to?
Bristol night race.
Yeah, the Bristol night
that's a
race.
good one.
What do you think about Bristol dirt now?
I watched it. It's different. Yep. Yeah. I like dirt racing. I think that's, late model puts on the best show if you want to go watch good, dirt racing or any racing, but they put on a real good show. Dover and then probably Richmond would be my next ones down. Okay. For being watching from the pit, that type of deal.
Mm-hmm. And there you go. I was working on this, getting the other camera going again. It cut off on us. But now it's good. Okay.
Yay.
What is it that makes those tracks stand out? You talk about Bristol. Bristol's obviously got a really good atmosphere for the night race, but what, as far as like Dover and Richmond, what makes those tracks stand out?
Dover just like, the concrete, and you really see how fast they're coming off when you walk over the walkway. And God, it's just the oversized Bristol. So it's they put on a heck of a show there. And then Richmond, same deal. They just put on a good show, and but nothing can hold to Bristol. It's a bull ring the whole time. And
well, how old were you when you went to your first race?
I don't know.
Pretty young.
Pretty young, yeah.
Well, your dad
age.
worked security at Charlotte Motor Speedway, so you were probably there fairly early.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. I'd say so.
I think I was probably, 10, maybe 11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask if you remembered going to, I done forgot what I was going to ask you.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
It happens when you get old.
Yeah, it does. All right. Well, what was your other question?
I didn't have another question.
You did?
You were hoping she had another question because you forgot your question.
Yeah,
That's right.
I forgot mine. While I'm thinking about mine, I was going to have you go over your question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lordy.
Is there a particular moment or race that stands out to you that you were a part of at the track?
Oh, man. Probably, I don't know if I think I was working on Nemechek's car at Bristol, and front end damage. We run like the mechanical fans back then, and it got into the radiator. And I think was it Cringe that was our tuner at that point, or he said, get a bunch of bread, and got all the white bread and mushed it up and shoved it in the radiator, and stop the water leak and send them back out.
Oh, really now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was our head engine builder.
Yep. I mean, we've got all kind of cheated up NASCAR stories,
Yeah. Of course.
That was a bunch of stuff we did back then.
Speaking of the Cringe, I was down there at the Daytona Beach, the Ponce Inlet Racing's North Turn Beach Parade, and I was standing down there with the cars because we actually were going to get in one and ride around and in the parade. And Keith Simmons walks up to me, and I turned around, I'm like, no way, just down here, and I haven't seen him in so many years. But he had, he moved up north and had he bought 3 different tracks up there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dirt racing and stuff up in Iowa. I said up north, is out Midwest, but he ended up.
It's still north.
Yeah.
Northwest.
Yeah, so he ended up doing that and doing good, though.
Nice.
Still doing really good.
We run some go-kart stuff. We got some backyard tracks to play around with, and we run the D&Q series at Millbridge. And we're going to do something at the drag strip, go-kart-wise. And Freddie Query and Jack Sprague come out, and they're all about, this new class we're going to do. And they run with us, and man, it's a good time, especially with, those guys showing up. And, it's real fun.
That was my next question about the drag strip, was where you're going to, because we talked a little bit about that off the air, about the D&Q series, if you were going to incorporate that with the motorsports part.
We want to do something like that. A lot of the treaded tire, no prep type classes are getting bigger and bigger, and the wing carts and Millbridge are huge. We don't want to compete with Millbridge at all, because they do a fantastic job out there. We just want to offer something more, because I think they stay rented majority of the time, with just people renting the track. So we want to do something along those lines, not run any of the sprint car stuff or the micros or any of that, because we're not going to do walls, but we want to do a nice safe deal for the kids, like a rolling, that has a hills roll off, nothing, wall wise or, sharp banks or anything. So we got plenty of land to do it, and, just do something really nice and, do an old man class, as Freddie calls it. So
there you go.
That'll be awesome.
He pointed at me when he said that.
Well, you gotta come out.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yep.
You did some go-kart stuff too, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
You started your own. You ran some illegal stuff and started your own series, right?
Well, what it was is whenever we would go race at Millbridge, we had we called it the Outlaw Series, and they were engines I had built for my neighbors and myself, and so whenever we got there, instead of putting us with everybody else to race, I said, our engines aren't legal. I mean, I build them, whatever. So they just gave us our own trophy, gave us our own series. But,
there you go.
But he used to you had a shifter cord or something?
Yep. Had a KX125 motor on it. Yep. Put that on an offset chassis, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because we had a little go-kart track in our neighborhood too, a little track down there. And that was a lot of fun. But then we'd go to Millbridge sometime and take them out there.
I got one with a KX250 motor on now. So.
Oh, a 250. Wow. Okay. Now those things fly.
It's a handful, yeah.
The little shifter carts with 250. So, all right. So back to what you were talking about doing at the Mooresville Dragway. In case somebody wasn't listening earlier, there's you're going to do. Tell us everything that you're going to do out there now.
So Mooresville Motorsports Complex is what we're titling it as now. So pulling track. So sled pull, like for a truck. Hook a sled up, pull it. Possibly tractor pulls, lawnmower pulls, whatever, but it'd be a 300-foot pulling track. Dirt drags at the same 300-foot. So you'll have dirt drags with the clocks and everything, side-by-side 2 trucks, 2 ATVs, 2 dirt bikes. There's all different kind of classes for that, 2 lawnmowers, whatever you want to do. And then we're going to do the go-kart track. And I've had a guy hit me up wanting to do a sprint boat track. The sprint boat, like the guy that sits over there and does this, that the 1,000 horsepower, they run in like the little moat. It's about 10 or 12 foot wide, 3 foot, 4 foot deep, and they turn. They 5 to 7 G's as they turn going through this stuff. So it's really cool. And they said they need enough room for a football field, and they can do the whole thing in that area. And we got plenty of water there to fill it, and do a levee and all that kind of stuff. So that'd be cool too.
Wow, that's pretty neat, man.
That is.
I can't wait to see all this happen and take place
me too.
and be down there. I mean, yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Man, sounds like the sky's the limit on this deal.
I hope so. I mean, the location and everything, and we're gonna put that effort into it, and just making the drag strip better, updating and everything right now. So, like I say, we're just trying to do as much as we can as fast as we can, but you can't boil the ocean. That deal. So, we're looking forward to it, and got a lot of big plans. So.
All right, so if people want more information about it, how can they find that?
Right now on Facebook, Mooresville Dragway, and then we do have Instagram. We do have a website, but it's getting revamped right now. So I haven't got it back up and going, but this is our third week on it, so we're trying to put out fires as we go. But there will be a good website to go to, but the Facebook would be the best thing right now. To do, and we're going to try to do like live streams of the race, so they'll have a YouTube channel and they can stream it live and watch they want to do and play back or whatnot. So
yeah, you need to do a YouTube video of how you clean the track.
Oh yes, we've been scraping all day today. So the rubber gets built up. We've got a drag, so basically it's a heavy duty big box scrape, and you put 5 slicks on it. You cut the sidewalls off the slicks and you put them on the drag. You run across it, puts rubber down, smooths the rubber out. Then you rotate the slick around and keep doing it. So this rubber's been put down for over a year or longer. So we've been needing to scrape the whole track. Like sometimes we'll go out 80, 100 foot and hand scrape back with torches. But we got a scraper that goes on the back of a tractor. It's a big tractor plow disc. So it's conveyed this way, and you set it down, 55-gallon drum of water on top, 200-pound propane tanks with 2 torches. You set it down and it'll heat the rubber up and the glue and just scrape it all off. So we filled up one 55-gallon drum today of just rubber, and we're a little over halfway. We're going to finish the rest of it in the morning. We're going to grind our high spots. We got a couple high spots we've been wanting to fix in the morning. And then Wednesday, the track's going to be bare as can bear it could be, and it'll be our no prep test. So a lot of this no prep stuff's getting big, and we cater to the no prep guys. So I'm going to do a no prep testing tune for them. Then we'll have to prep it really good for Thursday test, and then even better for the 704 Outlaw Radio race on Friday, and that'll roll into Saturday, Sunday for the bracket race.
What was that race on Friday?
704 Outlaws. So it's basically it's a 10-inch tire, like my car, 10-inch tire, 275 drag radial is what majority of them run, and that's basically the only rule there is. So if you show up with that tire, you can do whatever you want. And there's guys out there running, they've been 410s, 420s at 180 some mile an hour at an eighth mile on a 10-inch tire. So that's where I came from, like no wheelie bars, radial, 10-inch radial, and it's difficult to hook the tire up. You can make all the power in the world you want, but it's power management at that point, getting the chassis to work, getting power management to work, and getting on the racetrack. So the radial is harder to hook, to keep it hooked. Like if it ever tries to spin or shake, you lose the tire. Where a slick, you can kind of, get a little wheel speed or shake out of it and you'll recover. So that's one class. Then they got a streetcar class below that, kind of the same kind of tire, but a little bit slower. That'll probably be a 5.0 to 5.20 class. Then we got a few other classes we're going to do. But Friday should be a good show if the rain holds off. And then Saturday is going to be our big bracket opener points race for the season.
And you got the mini. Is it mini dragsters or
junior dragsters? Yep.
Dragsters.
Juniors will be out there Saturday and Sunday. Yep.
Okay. And those are like, are they still? They used to be like 5 horsepower big.
Yep. That's what it's based off of, a 5 horsepower flathead. Yep.
But they're not really 5 horsepower, but they're.
No, they got them now. Like Eli's got one. We got a 1190 setup and a 790 setup, and the 790 setup makes 58 horsepower.
Oh, 58 horsepower.
It's a billet block. I mean, the carburetor's freaking massive. It's huge. 2-inch pipe.
Gosh, that's crazy.
I just want to say hello to Scott. He just tuned in.
Oh, hey, Scott.
Scott in
Scott Travis
Daytona.
Oh, yeah.
The beer man. Remember him?
He says, Ola from the World Center of Racing.
Yeah. He would come out there and Well, he always hung up,
Oh, yes.
we always saw the banners.
Yep.
Everywhere we went, the Coors Light.
Yep.
Coors Light banners. And he made sure Sterling had plenty of beer.
I still got a Coors Light Sterling signed hood.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Man, I need one. If you ever decide to get rid of it.
All right.
There it goes.
So when you gonna put your kids on the track?
Eli, we got a pour-in seat for him. So the junior dragster we got is big, the seat area. So we do a pour-in, just like NASCAR deal, and that'll be the same pour-in probably for all three. But we can change them in and out. But the chassis is a good chassis. We can got 2 motors, and then we'll have 3 different seats. So. I'm sure he's dying to get in it right now. So
How fast you gonna let him go?
well,
1190.
1190, yeah, you can start out when you're 5 or 6 years old, and then they limit you to a ET, and then you go to another age bracket and you can go to the 790. So they got a really good deal, with that, on that deal. But like the outlaw stuff, they even got an outlaw class that'll run the 330, which is half track, and they run like 3 seconds to the 330. That's flying. Like that, my car will, if I go sub 3 seconds, we're on a pretty good pass,
So does he show more of an interest in drag racing, or does he have any interest in circle track stuff? Or
he's got a go-kart too. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we got some buddies that have the wing carts. They race at Millbridge, and he's wanting to try that out really bad. And just giving him options, not pressure him into anything. But if he wants to do it, he can do it. And PW50, dirt bike, and just the opportunities that I never had growing up. So just if he wants to do something.
Cool.
Speaking of dirt bikes, are you going to do anything? I mean, that's getting into another thing. So
the dirt drags. I mean, there's classes. There's other tracks that do the dirt drags and have, a 450 class or a 250 class, and same with the 4-wheelers, side by sides. They got a bunch of different classes, and that's pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Gosh.
But yeah, we had talked about the motocross stuff. That's a lot of the initial build cost. Doing one of them is pretty big, but that's not out of the question.
The sky's the limit.
That's it.
That's what we said earlier. Next will be airplanes and such.
Well, we're going to do RC drag racing out there. We've got several guys want to do the RC racing, so that's getting pretty big.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome, man. There's all kinds of stuff right there.
Yep.
That's cool.
RC, is that remote controlled? Okay, just clarifying.
You could do that. You'd be
I can't do a remote control. I can drive better than I can control something.
She's either, with everything in life, she's like on or off. So I could see her with
Give
an
it
RC.
all or nothing, right?
That's right.
All or nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't do remote controlled stuff.
It takes coordination.
Oh, yeah.
So
Danny Martin has a question. He says, "Hello, everyone. Just wondered if y'all raced any other strips like Fayetteville."
We have been, with beer money on the no prep stuff, been all over the place. And if it shows up, it's pretty much the one to beat. Unless something goes bad. I think he went to Fayetteville last year. Has been to War Shoals, been all down through that Red Springs. There's a bunch of little tracks all down through there. They got one coming up, Outer Banks coming up here soon. We got some buddies just bought into Rockingham Dragway. Got that all amped up, and they just opened their deal a couple weeks ago, and they've done a fantastic job with that deal. Al and Dan are buddies of ours, and they bought Rockingham, and it is a wonderful facility. They repaved and reconcreted everything, and it turned out really nice.
okay, so did they buy that from Hillenberg? Let's see.
Steve Yearwood.
Okay, and you were talking about Robbie Faggart. Who was you talking about earlier? You were talking about from Freddie Query.
Yes.
Sorry, I always get them too confused because they both racers from the Concord area, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Back in the day.
Yeah, Freddie lived right down the road from me, and the track we were racing at was literally 2 miles down the road, so it was right there close to us, and probably the nicest backyard track. Well, probably the nicest track, but it was a backyard track in North Carolina. It was really nice.
Okay. Well, all right. So if any people want to contact you, they go to Facebook or Instagram, and I'm sure you'll be ramping that stuff up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming up soon.
Yep.
And when's your next event?
So this week is our big week all week. You know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. After that, it'll be the next Thursday will be another test and tune. But we do private rentals. You know, so if somebody wants to do a private test day, we can do that. You know, if you want a no prep or radial prep or slick or whatever, we can prep it any way you want.
Husbands against wives.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yes. Might have to add a little weight to yours, whatever it is, if you're going against me. You know, the weight disadvantage. Never mind.
Yeah, wait.
All right. So what we need to do is we need to have in here someday. We need to have like a Sabco reunion on the radio.
Yes.
You know, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Get some of our old friends in here. So
I'm sure we could ponder up 2, 3, 4.
that's right. We'll work on that. We'll do that for next time.
Yeah.
And then we can just bounce stories off each other, that kind of stuff. You know. Good stuff
Danny
to
Martin
have.
says Hillenberg owned the oval track at the Rock IIRC, David.
Well, that's what why I brought his name up. But
Maybe he.
I was
commented.
wondering if they were connected, or because I know they're right across the street, but I didn't know if they were under same ownership anymore. Or
Yeah, Steve
how that
Yearwood
works.
had the drag strip for a long time, and they got it from him.
okay. The
Nice.
drag strip, yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking about the circle track.
Yep.
Yeah.
When we were talking about that. Okay. All right. Well, very good. If y'all got any more questions, throw them out there right now.
Right now.
Right this second.
Start typing.
Yeah. All right. All right. So here's the deal. If you got any questions you want to ask after the show ends, you can go back on here and put your questions on, and make sure you hit the thumbs up as well. And thanks to Paul Rodriguez last week for reminding everybody of that. But if you got any questions, put them on here, and we'll make sure that Bigun gets the answer to you. And if you want more information on it, I can also put links to that on this video and into the description and all that kind of stuff too. So I'll do that. I'll go back and put that in the description. And you got any parting words for our friends out there?
Click the like button.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thumbs up.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me out. It was a blast. You know.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody, and you know we're excited about the new venture, and you know everything seems to be going the right ways, and you know we're wanting to make it bigger and better.
That's cool, man. We'll have to come out and do some live broadcasting.
Absolutely.
That'd be a good time.
Up in
that
the
would be neat.
tower.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What'd you say up in the tower? Do it
Do
from the
live
tower.
broadcasting from up in the tower.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep.
Bryson's got his radio voice.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next Monday. I don't know why I said Wednesday. We have. I will be here Wednesday. Wednesday
Yes,
evening.
that's true.
Different
You will.
show.
Peanut Butter
Different
Base.
show.
But we have. Who do we have on next week? It's Brad.
You
Hold on,
are the
I got
schedule
it.
maker, honey.
I got it coming up here. It is. Oh, it's right here. Here we go. Brad Barrett. Yeah, not Brad Parrott. Brad Barrett. I was texting Brad Barrett, and I accidentally texted Brad Parrott whenever we were talking about it. Anyway, he was a NASCAR gas man and tire carrier for Hendrick Motorsports, and been around the racing a long time. So it should be a good time. We'll talk to him.
Dad was a gas man for Hendrick too, you know.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't at Hendrick very long though. Your dad wasn't. He was with Harry Gant mostly. And then after that, we got Dirk Baumgartner. You know Dirk Baumgartner?
I don't think so.
That'll be April 24th. So he was an engine builder for Penske and worked with him at Roush Yates too. So, yep. So every Monday evening, we have a new guest from the racing world to tell us their story, their path, their racing route. So y'all tune in next Monday and have a great week, and we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Real Country 550 and 92.9 WAME Statesville.
Hey, Ryan Scott's at the Ford store in Statesville. What's going on here?
I tell you